Okay, the final activity I did was have the students create an animated map of the Boston area during the American Revolution. This involves learning standards ISTE T1A and ISTE T3A. What I do is I go on to Google Maps or Google Earth and copy and paste an image from Google Earth of the Boston area onto a slide, and then I have the kids work from this particular slide as their template to create their animated map. And what the kids will do is, if you look at number one, for example, they are going to research the routes taken by William Dawes, Paul Revere, and Sam Prescott. Once they research the exact route that each man took, they'll copy and paste their designated horse along their routes. For number two, they are to place this blue star, red star, this on the location of each town. Peabody being the town that my students live in, Salem being the next town over, because that's where a significant event took place 2 months before the Battle of Lexington and Concord, where the British went out up to Salem to the North Shore looking for cannon. So what happened in Concord 2 months later could very well have happened in Salem. And then the town of Cambridge, where the British began their march all the way out to Concord 2 months later on April 19, 1775. Number three, place this British flag over Boston to illustrate Britain's occupation of the town. Number four, research the route taken by the British as they retreated from Concord to Boston. Line their route with a series of these explosions. So once they research the route that they actually took as they retreated back to Boston, they're just going to copy and paste a bunch of those little explosions to symbolize all the fighting that took place between them and the local militias as they try to head back to Boston. Number five, place these 5 ships in Boston Harbor to represent Britain's naval blockade. Place 15 of these Patriot symbols across Massachusetts to represent the town militias that had formed to resist the British. Number 7, place this cannon along the following locations to represent where American cannon were held during this period. Certainly cannon were held in Concord and Salem, as I mentioned in that story about what happened in Salem 2 months before Concord. And then Dorchester Heights, where ultimately the Americans fortified Dorchester Heights with a whole bunch of cannon that were taken from Fort Ticonderoga, and that ultimately forced the British to evacuate Boston on March 17th, 1776. Number 8, place this light on the location of the North Church where the signal was given to alert the colonists that the British were leaving Boston by sea across the Charles River. So once they find the location of the North Church, they just simply copy and paste that light bulb. And place this explosion on the locations of the battles of Bunker Hill, Lexington, and Concord. So once they find out exactly where they were located, simply copy and paste them where they were located. Number 10, place 3 Patriots to the north and south of Boston to represent Patriots who were busy on that day calling out their local militias. Again, I give them this map, and let's see, after they research everything, how this thing comes to life. Let's see what the work that they create here. So as you can see all the Patriots all over the eastern Massachusetts, which are symbolic of all the town militias that were called out, as well as the Patriot waving the flag, who were responsible for giving the signal system. Notice up in the top right-hand screen with the cannon, that's designating the area around Salem and Peabody, where I teach. And then down towards the bottom, just south of Boston, the other cannon, which is where Dorchester Heights is, which forced the British to evacuate. And then out to the left side of the screen in western Mass, or at least the western part of the screen, because ultimately Concord is in eastern Mass still, is Concord, and you can see the routes that the 3 men took, as far as the pink ones, that designates where Dawes left Boston. He kind of had the southern route, and Revere had the northern route. And we got the explosions designated in the Battle of Concord, Battle of Lexington, and Battle of Bunker Hill back in Boston. Notice the British flag over Boston, as well as the light bulb, which is the location of the Old North Church. So the reason why I do this is because I just think that it's important to kind of bring things to life on a map, things moving, gets the kids thinking. They were forced to do some, simple research of the location of all of these events. And I just think this is a good way to help them get a better understanding and appreciation of the events of this important era. So tell me what you think. Thanks a lot. Bye.